So, hello. Today we're going to be talking about goal setting on social media and what key performance indicators we should be using. Because there are a plethora of data out there on social media that that is being monitored all the time. But what is a useful data for us to keep an eye on to make sure that our social media is doing its job and basically achieving what we want it to achieve? So I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train businesses how to effectively use social media to generate more sales and to increase visibility. So if you're watching this live, please do say hello, give us a wave, introduce yourselves into the chat. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please do give us a like and a follow. And please ask any questions. Even if you're watching this on catch up, please do ask any questions in the chat and I will come back and answer those for you. Okay. Right then. So, key performance indicators, what on earth are they? Basically, key performance indicators are ways in which we can evaluate and monitor if our social media is being successful or not. Okay. So we need key performance indicators to help us understand and set goals for our social media. So again, understanding what our goals are on social media helps us then to set, monitor and measuring to make sure we're meeting those goals. Oh, hi Chris, nice to say hello. And some of you are out walking, fabulous, while we're watching this live stream. So thank you. Hi Amanda, lovely to see you. Okay, so what I want you to do is the first thing I want you to think of when we are thinking about setting key performance indicators is what are your business objectives for social media? So again, strip it all back. What's the purpose? Why are you on social media? What do you want to achieve? And I can honestly say it will be different for everybody. Everybody has different objectives. Every business wants to achieve slightly different things on social media. So we need to make sure that we are developing and tailoring it to what we need as a business. Okay, so there's loads of advice out there that tells you what you should be measuring and what you shouldn't. Today, I'm just going to be going over things that I think are important that you should measure. Again, if you ask any questions in the chat, do say hello. Okay, so last week in the social flock, we looked at setting our business objectives, so vitally important because social media is a tool to help us achieve those objectives. So one of the things that people always think, well, we must measure followers. We must measure how many people are following us, because if our followers are growing on our pages, then we must be doing well on social media. I would say this is probably one of the least areas you should be focusing on when it comes to monitoring and measuring, particularly if you're a small business. Slightly different if you've got low priced products and you need to sell thousands of them every year, then you're probably going to need a high follower count and increasing your followers all the time. But if you're a service-based business, your follower count might not be as important if, say, you only need 20 to 50 clients per year. It may be as successful. It might not be the best one to monitor. So, for example, people get obsessed by how many followers they've got. If you've got lots of followers, we must be successful. But anyone can increase their followers on social media very easily. You can actually buy followers. And something I've seen circulating since Christmas is an email on Facebook where small businesses have been cutting and pasting this post, which is going, "We're a small business, please help us. We need to increase our followers and compete with the bigger boys. Please could you invite all your friends to like and follow my page and help me out." And again, that's a bit of clickbait. We're encouraging people to follow our pages who don't necessarily want to follow our pages. They're just doing it as a favor. We actually want followers who are interested, who want to buy from us, who basically are our ideal clients, because that's what's going to meet our business objectives. There's no point having 20,000 followers if you bought them or you've got them in a competition and they're totally disengaged and not interested in your product. They only followed you because you asked them to, or they joined a competition. What we want to do is focus on real followers and grow those followers slowly. So I wouldn't focus on followers as one of the metrics to measure. What you need to do in order to evaluate that success of your social media, really the most important, some of the most important metrics are engagement. So look at engagement on your posts. Are you getting likes on there? Are you getting comments on there? Are people sharing your post because they think it's really valuable and other people should see it? Okay. That is so much more important because your posts are reaching people who are genuinely interested in what you've got to say. Now, I've used this example before. A while ago, I did a post on LinkedIn, and I kind of post based on two really popular posts. I repurposed it for my business, and I put it out there, and it went viral. It reached over 70,000 people, had about 300 comments on it. It did really, really well. Okay, but guess how many sales I got from that? Guess how many business inquiries I got from that? Absolutely zero. Whereas other posts that I do that may only reach like 1,000 people or even 100 people, if they then get a business inquiry, that's me meeting my business objectives. A post going viral isn't. That's a vanity metric. Makes me feel good, but actually it's not doing anything for the business. Okay. So really, really have a think about engagement because that's when people are absolutely genuinely interested. And the more engagement you get, the more likes, comments, shares, the more engagement you get, the higher your post will reach. It'll reach more people. So you're going to increase the reach of that post just by getting more engagement. Okay. So reach is important because generally speaking, if you get engagement on a post, you get a higher reach. Okay. But we've got to make sure that high reach is going to followers who are genuinely interested in what you're doing. There's no point having a high reach to loads of people who are not interested in what you do. Okay. So think about that. Likes, comments, shares, great one to measure. Okay. So, and again, next week in the social flock, we're going to be looking at engagement and I'm going to be teaching you some really good techniques on how to increase engagement of your post so that if you have got some really good social media followers, then actually I'll give you some great engagement tips to reach those followers through your content. Okay. Because don't forget, when you write content doesn't go to all your followers. It only goes to your followers if it's a popular post. So if you're interested in joining the social flock and you're not a member, please, I'll put the details in the comments. So please do have a look and we'd love to join you. So what is the other thing then that we should be monitoring that I suggest you monitor? Well, the other thing that's really important, I think, is direct messages. Okay. Across our social media now, we can do direct private messages, whether on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of these, all of these platforms allow customers, potential customers, to direct message you, be it your personal account, if you're on LinkedIn, or your business account, if you're on Facebook, for example. But you can get direct messages. So the strategy we should be looking at is how many inquiries are we actually getting on our social media? That is a fantastic key performance indicator to measure. Okay, how many inquiries are we getting? Whether it's through a direct message or they might do a public inquiry underneath one of your posts. So you should be counting those. And once you've got those inquiries, you can then see if they then have actually convert into a sale. Okay. Last week I did a live stream with Paula Cohen and we had a few inquiries come through publicly in the chat and a few direct messages as well. So that's really, really easy to calculate because we know who they are and whether they're going to convert into business or not. So direct inquiries are very, very valuable. Now, if we're in a large organization, we're getting loads of inquiries all the time, then you may need a system in place to capture those. Maybe direct messages is not the most appropriate way, but for smaller businesses, direct messages is a great idea of how well you're performing. But the other area is if you're online and you're selling products online, obviously we actually want people go straight to our store front. We want them to go straight to our e-commerce shop, wherever that may be on the internet. So actually, a very, very important element to measure is website hits. Okay. Now, obviously, this is slightly difficult on social media these days, because if you put a web link and a link on all your social media posts, that social media platform will limit the reach of the post, because you're encouraging customers to come off the platform and go onto your website, and they don't like it. They'll reduce the reach of your posts. So you've got to work really hard on your engagement so that you then can put posts in there that do have links to your e-commerce store. But it's a very, very good indicator to monitor as well, is those website hits. Okay. So in conclusion then, it's going to be very different depending what organization you are, depending on the number of clients and you need and customers, and actually what you want to achieve on your social media. Okay. So it's all going to be different for everyone. So think back to those business objectives we set last week in the social flock. Think back to those. Think about how we can measure how we achieve those through our social media. Okay. So go through and have a look, and then start setting some goals based on those. Try and avoid those vanity metrics and really focus on those KPIs, those key performance indicators that are going to result in business inquiries, sales, and understanding that your customer really appreciates your social media content. And I would suggest keep it simple. Start monitoring 2 or 3 to begin with, and then as you become more familiar with how the data is working and the metrics, you might want to introduce more key performance indicators to measure. So again, if you've been watching this live, please do give us a like, give us a thumbs up, because that gives me engagement. So that will help the reach of this video. So that would really help me. Please do give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please do give us a follow. And I look forward to seeing you next week, again, live at 12:30. And if you're not part of the social flock, then please do join us. Here's all details. It's only £45 a month, and we get loads of training, webinars. And this afternoon, we've got our weekly content writing session where I challenge you to write 3 posts a week, giving you the accountability to get your social media written. And we've got a fabulous group. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next week or later on for those of you in the social flock. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.